If it were not for the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima, I would not be sitting here today. I got to know her through this man, and that is, of course, Pope John Paul II. Pope John Paul II visited Heaton Park in Manchester, where I'm from, on May the 31st, 1982. John Paul II should have been dead in 1982. Yes, you heard me right. John Paul II should have been dead and buried in 1982. If it had not been for Our Lady of Fatima, I'll tell you why. On the 13th of May 1981, the fairly newly elected Pope, who was doing his rounds in St. Peter's Square, as popes are wont to do, he was in his Pope mobile, kissing babies, blessing the crowds, receiving gifts, all the things a Pope does. It was a glorious day, it was beautiful weather, but this day was unlike no other in the life of Pope John Paul II. There was, in the crowd, an assassin. The would-be assassin was a Turkish gunman. He was a hitman, actually. His name was Mehmet Ali Akka, and he fired 4 bullets at John Paul II. One of the bullets hit the Pope in the abdomen, narrowly missing vital organs. Another bullet hit the Pope in his left hand. And once these bullets were fired, a bystander in the crowd knocked the gun out of the assassin's hand, and then he was arrested and sent to prison. But John Paul II was bleeding out in the Pope mobile. He was bleeding to death. Now, this is no exaggeration. He was shot in the abdomen, and when this bullet went into his abdomen, it missed a crucial artery by millimeters. By a hair's breadth, this bullet did not kill John Paul II instantly. But that's not the most interesting thing about this assassination attempt. As John Paul II fell backwards, cried out to Our Lady, and he said this till the day he died, he said that the moment he felt that bullet entering into his body, he said he felt very strongly the presence of a motherly hand guiding the bullet. Oh, there's more. John Paul II was rushed to hospital and had emergency surgery to remove the bullet from his abdomen and to save his life. He spent 3 weeks in hospital recovering. He survived. It's said that 4 days after John Paul II was shot, from his hospital bed, John Paul II offered forgiveness to this man who had tried to kill him. Then later on, he went on to visit his would-be assassin in prison and had a lengthy conversation with him. We have the photographs. We don't really know what was said, but we do know that forgiveness was offered, and that in fact this man had a conversion. He was formerly a Muslim and became a devout Catholic and a devotee of John Paul II. It was discovered that this man hadn't been working alone. He was a hitman who had been hired by the KGB, by the Russians. I'm getting to the point. You might be thinking, what's all of this got to do with Our Lady of Fatima? This was all predicted in 1917 by Our Lady of Fatima to the 3 children of Fatima. Let me just take you back to this hospital bed of John Paul II. Now, John Paul II was lying there recuperating, and he realised that he had been shot on May the 13th. He thought, that rings a bell. Being a devotee of Our Lady, he would have known exactly what that date meant. May the 13th was and is the feast day of Our Lady of Fatima because it commemorates the day when she first appeared to the 3 children of Fatima in Portugal. He remembered from his bed that there were secrets of Fatima. The 3rd secret still hadn't been revealed to the world. John Paul II knew that the 3rd secret was in the Vatican because Sister Lucia had written it down and entrusted that secret to the Pope. Pope John XXIII had read part of the secret of Fatima. Pope Paul VI had also read part of the secret. The message in its entirety had yet to be revealed. And so John Paul II said to his advisors, I think now is the time. I think this is not a coincidence. Bring me the message, the 3rd secret of Fatima. The 3rd secret of Fatima was contained in an envelope which had been sealed by Sister Lucia herself and had written on top of it, do not open until 1960. I'll let you decide why 1960 was such a significant year. I have my theories, but nobody had read this message. John Paul II opened this envelope and read out the message, and he was astonished. Astonished. Each of the 3 secrets of Fatima has deep global significance and spiritual significance for all of us. It's said that the first secret of Fatima was related to predicting the outbreak of World War II. The second secret of Fatima was about the rise and fall of the Soviet Union. This was way back in 1917. But the third secret, nobody really knew what it was about. Decades later, it was revealed to us. So I will tell you now what this third secret of Fatima said from Sister Lucia's memoirs in her own words. And I bought this at the Shrine of Fatima, so you know it's legit. When she says we, she's talking about her, Jacinta, and Francisco, her cousins. They were all children at the time. We saw an angel with a flaming sword in his hand. Flashing, it gave out flames that looked as though they would set the world on fire, but they died out in contact with the splendor that Our Lady radiated towards him from her right hand. Pointing to the earth with his right hand, the angel cried out in a loud voice, "Penance, penance, penance." We saw in an immense light that is God, something similar to how people appear in a mirror when they pass in front of it, a bishop dressed in white. We had the impression that it was the Holy Father. Other bishops, priests, men and women religious going up a steep mountain, at the top of which there was a big cross of rough-hewn trunks, as of a cork tree with a bark. Before reaching there, the Holy Father passed through a big city half in ruins, and half trembling with halting step, afflicted with pain and sorrow, he prayed for the souls of the corpses he met on his way. Having reached the top of the mountain, on his knees at the foot of the big cross, he was killed by a group of soldiers who fired bullets and arrows at him, and in the same way there died, one after another, the other bishops, priests, men and women religious, and various lay people of different ranks and positions. Beneath the two arms of the cross there were two angels, each with a crystal aspersorium in its hand, in which they gathered up the blood of the martyrs, and with it sprinkled the souls that were making their way to God. This is quite difficult to decipher, really. It's all in very mystical language. It is a vision, after all. John Paul II has also spoken about it. Pope Benedict spoke about these messages. The part about the Pope being shot, that is a direct reference to Pope John Paul II. And according to John Paul II, Our Lady of Fatima saved his life. He said it was one hand that fired the bullet and another motherly hand that guided it. The doctors said that he should really have died. Just yet another reaffirmation that the predictions and the words of Our Lady at Fatima have all come true to date. The rest of that third secret is that there's this vision of the church being persecuted, bishops, nuns, priests, lay people, all being persecuted as they're trying to make their way up to the cross. Pope Benedict XVI even said that he thought that this third message even reveals something to us about the fall from faith within the Catholic Church, starting from within the Catholic Church itself. We're all living through this. We've seen the loss of vocations in the last few decades. We've seen the scandals that have erupted within the Church. And we're continuing to see a lot of confusion and division within the Church. Modernism is seeping in and it's confusing people, and it's draining away the life force of the vocations that we so desperately need. That all sounds very negative, but Our Lady came to warn us that this was going to happen beforehand. She has also told us, in the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. It's what you really should take away from this. Things might look like they've gone drastically downhill in the last few decades, but she's in charge. Our Lady of Fatima knows and predicted all of this would happen. But she's also placed a great responsibility on our shoulders, said to us that we have a part to play in ensuring that peace reigns on earth, the church is healed, and that man comes back to God. Prayer, penance, the rosary, confession, mass, turning to God and turning to Our Lady. She's in charge. Pope John Paul II later went to the Shrine of Fatima, and he placed within the very crown of Our Lady of Fatima the bullet that nearly took his life, and he placed the blood-stained sash that he'd been wearing on that day at the feet of Our Lady of Fatima in thanksgiving for her saving his life. He consecrated Russia to her Immaculate Heart as she requested. Oh, and what's this got to do with me being faithful? I came back to God thanks to the witness and testimony of John Paul the Great. When he died, my life changed overnight, and I am the person I am today thanks to him. But he would not have even been alive to have changed my life if Our Lady of Fatima hadn't have saved his. So on that note, along with John Paul II, I wish you all a very happy feast day of Our Lady of Fatima. May God bless you.